The girl was locked inside an iron coffin and thrown into the sea. She lost her life quickly, but strangely she came back to life, only to drown again. She was tortured like this for 500 years. The girl was immortal. She had a sister named Andy who was also immortal. Together they won countless wars. People worshipped them as gods. But in the 16th century, the church called them cursed witches and sentenced them to death by hanging. But every time they died, they would come back to life. This terrified everyone. So the priests came up with a cruel plan. They sealed the young sister in a custom iron coffin and sank it deep into the ocean, forcing her to suffer endless death and rebirth. Andy managed to escape, but no matter how hard she searched, she could never find her sister. 500 years passed. Andy met 3 other immortals. They formed a special ops team, fighting terrorists while still searching for Andy's sister. One day Andy returned to their base, only to find it under attack. 2 teammates were taken by agents from the CIA. The agency and a pharma company had been after their power to live forever. To save her friends, Andy took Booker and Niall to the company's building. She gave Niall a handgun for protection, then went in with Booker to rescue the others. But Niall found out the gun had no bullets, and the gun was the one Booker handed to Andy. Niall suddenly realized Andy might have been betrayed, and sure enough, Booker attacked Andy from behind. When Andy asked him why he betrayed her, his answer was ridiculous.
If Merrick can discover how we keep living, he might find a way out of it.
He had grown tired of living. He wanted to die but couldn't. The pharma company promised to help him end his life. Now he deeply regretted it, because he found out Andy had already lost her immortality. At that moment Niall reached the building. She pulled out her weapon, but was immediately shot by the guards. They didn't know Niall was immortal too. Using her immortality, she stormed the lab where the others were being held. But Andy didn't want to leave. She said everyone was tired of living forever. Maybe immortality was a curse, but Niall disagreed. She said it was a responsibility. The people Andy had saved over the centuries, many of them went on to become scientists, whose work helped all of humanity. Hearing this, the others finally understood the meaning of their existence. They regained their will to fight, and quickly defeated the enemies. Then the company boss aimed his gun at Andy, knowing she couldn't heal anymore. Just as he was about to pull the trigger, Niall grabbed him and jumped out the window. Niall survived, and they all escaped the building. Booker had betrayed the team, even though he never wanted to hurt anyone. Andy still punished him. She told him to work alone for 100 years. They would reunite when the time came. For immortals, loneliness was the worst punishment. One day Booker returned home, and found his door lock broken. He raised his gun, only to see a woman in red standing inside. It was Andy's sister, the one who had been trapped under the sea for 500 years, and no one knew what kind of monster she had become in all that darkness.